There's a difference between a scandal and a pattern. Scandals are isolated moments. A bad night, a bad decision, a headline that fades. A pattern is something else entirely. A pattern is repetition, escalation, and most importantly, protection. Today we're going to talk about the fall of Trey Songz, not from a place of gossip, but from a place of documented allegations, public incidents, and the uncomfortable question that a lot of people are afraid to ask. How did this keep happening for over a decade? Before we get into this, I need to be very clear. Everything discussed in this video is alleged, reported, or based on public record. Lawsuits, interviews, and statements. This is not a conviction. This is an examination of a long-standing pattern and a system around it. Because what's striking isn't the number of incidents, it's how little consequence followed most of them. Who Trey Songz was supposed to. In the late 2000s and early 2010s, Trey Songz wasn't just an R&B singer. He was the R&B singer. Marketed as smooth, romantic, and desirable. The voice, the look, the ladies' man. This era of R&B rewarded a very specific archetype. The emotionally unavailable bad boy who somehow still gets framed as irresistible. And that branding mattered. Because when allegations starts to surface, public perception didn't see a threat. They saw something that they did not want to. Around 2012 to 2016 is when the early warning signs started to surface. In 2012, an incident surfaced where Trey Songz was accused of slapping a woman with a wad of cash and allegedly giving her a black eye. Donna McIntosh was allegedly hit in the face with money by singer Trey Songz at a strip club in Queens. The 28-year-old musician allegedly tossed a bundle of cash at Dana McIntosh after she snapped a cell phone picture of him at a party in Club Perfection in Woodhaven around 4 a.m. on August 22nd. At this time, it was treated like a rumor, brushed off, minimized, forgotten. In 2015, things escalated. Trey Songz is named in a sexual assault and battery case involving two women, according to the filing obtained by the Rolling Stone. The woman alleged that they passed out of his home at Bell Canyon Grande, California. Later woke up with him forcing himself on them. Again alleged, but still very serious. Both women took damages for sexual battery and assault, negligence, and intentional infliction of mental distress. And not only that, interference with their civil rights. Period. In 2016, Trey Songz pleads guilty to 2 misdemeanors for punching a police officer. This is important because it shows us not only like how he's acting in private, he's also doing these things publicly. And still his career continues. Like in 2017, actress and singer Keke Palmer stated that following the premiere of Trey's Pick Up the Phone music video, she wasted no time in putting the singer on blast. She admittedly, she attended a party that was happening in Miami for the music video. Despite the fact that she was like, I don't want to participate in the music video, Trey tried to coerce her into participating. And he admittedly got very anxious, and she ran and hid in the closet to avoid being filmed.
In Miami for New Year's, a lot of friends there, people there, so I just went to hang out, and then it turned into a video.
You didn't know it would be a video?
No, I didn't know.
Did you see cameras?
Yeah, when I started to see cameras, I was like, okay, they filming a video, ain't got nothing to do with me, until they started asking me to be in it.
They did ask you to be in it?
Yeah, more than once.
You said no?
Yeah, more than once.
Why did you say no?
Because I wasn't in the right mind. I had been drinking and eating, and it wasn't a professional environment. It was not a place where I'm in the right mind to decide if this works with my brand, if I like the artist. I don't know nothing about the artist, that it's also in the song.
Did you say no to the producer or to Trey?
I said first no to the producer, then said no to the assistant, and then said no to Trey, and then said it again after I, came out the closet.
What did you mean by sexual intimidation?
I mean, just that. Sexual intimidation. I feel as a female, often I'm put in situations where sometimes males will use their masculinity, their sexuality to taunt you. I hate to have to bring and say that and make it known, but look, I ain't the first person that's gone through. People have gone through this all the time. In college, in high school, but these aren't the things that I've experienced. So this was kind of one of my first major experiences. It would be like you going to a party where the biggest jock is there, and the whole time he's like, you can get screwed, you can get this, you can get that, and you ain't no little girl no more.
Have you heard from Trey since you posted it?
I haven't heard from him directly, no.
Who'd you hear from?
I heard from my manager,
And your manager said what?
The same thing that everybody always says, I didn't know. I didn't know.
So your manager had no knowledge of it?
No, not my manager, saying that, Trey said I didn't know.
Are you planning to take legal action?
Yes, I am. I mean, the video is down now. But I mean,
but
more so,
out,
it's out and it's over. But I feel more so my point isn't to say it's not just specifically about this person, this guy, and what he did. It's the overall idea that you can't just do stuff to people, and it's all right, no matter who you are.
Nevertheless, video of her was still included in the music video. After the fact, she said in the quote, "Just because you give someone some alcohol and a little sexual intimidation does not mean that they are going to buckle." Instead of people supporting her, people accuse her of lying, trying to tear down a black man in his career, the usual. And this is kind of crazy too, because it just shows that public perception will silence victims too. In 2018, things began to continue to escalate and no accountability still, which is surprising. In 2018, Trey Songz was arrested in his home in Los Angeles following a felony domestic violence allegation. The woman involved, Andrea Vera, apparently at a Hollywood Hills party, he hit her, threw her to the ground, pretty much beat her up. You could see she experienced bruising on her neck, her face, her legs. She had to go to the hospital because she was very injured. He apparently knocked her to the ground and continued to punch her until security got involved. She claimed she went to the hospital with a concussion. She also had bruising, like I said, and Trey Songz threatened to throw her phone off of a cliff. She states, "I wasn't your first victim, but I really hope I'm your last." Apparently, nothing was filed due to insufficient evidence. Same year, another woman, Joanna Jeffries, comes forward. She alleges that after meeting Trey Songz at a party and later going to a nightclub, he sexually assaulted her with his fingers. She says she began recording him out of fear. Further evidence states that when he noticed, he pulled her out of the car, beat her to the ground. He also was attempting to take her phone at the same time. Again, all this stuff is alleged, but again, it's just... It's very... In 2020, though, social media starts to change the game a little bit. OnlyFans model Eliza Jane publicly accuses Trey Songz of urinating on her without her consent. She also alleges that he took her phone and her purse and again threatened to throw them if she tried to leave. And this is one of the first times that one of his victims has gained widespread traction online. And it changed things because social media changed who gets to have the narrative. Victims didn't have to rely on labels, lawyers, or regular outlets to be believed. In 2021, the pattern kind of becomes impossible to ignore. Another woman, a basketball player, Dylan Gonzalez, also comes forward. She says Trey Songz is a rapist and she cannot go another year without pretty much admitting that. She also says that the ongoing number of people coming forward about him is making her relive her PTSD and that she would just like her privacy from here on out. That same year, Trey Songz is investigated by Los Angeles police over an alleged sexual assault at a hotel. He punches a police officer at a basketball game. He is sued for punching a bartender at a Cardi B concert. At this point, the things are overlapping as well. Early in 2022, a woman files a lawsuit alleging that although the relationship was consensual, he assaulted her at a party back in 2016 as well. So it's just it just keeps going. In 2022, he's arrested in a bowling alley. Still, none of this stuff is ending his career. In 2025, still the pattern continues. I think this is the last thing that happened before I think he's in jail now. I'll have to double check that, but I think he's in jail now. But in 2025, he is accused of punching a nightclub employee in the face after being told it was closing time. What are we doing here, people? Violence, again, public, again, nothing. How is this possible? This is where the conversation gets a little bit uncomfortable because the truth of the matter is the industry kept rewarding something they should have been doing something about. They kept rewarding behavior that should have ended his career. We have talked about the R&B level era of male privilege back in the 2020s. We talked about the era of R&B male privilege back in the mid to 2010. How toxic bad boy behavior was romanticized and how they were protected before social media accountability. Why were these incidents treated as isolated incidences instead of a pattern? Why did this tours keep continuing? Why did he keep continuing to get it support? Public perception, fan culture, whatever you want to call it, a huge part of it is branding. His music, his image. The fans didn't want to let go of the way his songs made them feel. That reaction alone explains why his status remained unchecked. That says a lot because it also raises the question, why does accountability only have to show up when it's visible? At the end of the day, it isn't just about Trey Songz. It's about what happens when fame and protection collide. No one steps in early enough. Cancel culture isn't the issue. Accountability is. And when accountability comes late or not at all, patterns don't stop. they escalate.